Are you ever flooring it and then you realize your floor isn't it? Are you ever cruising and then realize that's the street down there? You ever hit a puddle and then your foot gets wet? That might be because you don't have a floor. And well, my 1977 Ford F-250 is in about the same spot. So today I'm gonna show you how we can take care of this mess, put a new floor in my 77 Ford F-250. You're gonna like this. Oh, no. I built it! Oh. Hit the subscribe button! That's right, ladies and gentlemen, my truck finally deserves a floor. Crazy enough. I have done so much work to this truck in the last year. I bought a van. I pulled the engine out of that van. I reconditioned, resealed that engine, and now it exists in Martha, my 77 Ford F-250. Now, I love this truck, and I've actually driven it to work a few times. The first time, I had a tire go flat, so we've got new tires. I even slapped on a new set of wheels at the same time. But once that all went in, I found out the transmission was bad, so we got that rebuilt, and we kept driving to work. But then we ran out of gas, and let me tell you why. This is a surge tank, or a redneck modified race tank. So this is a 2-gallon fuel tank from Amazon. They're about 50 bucks, and you can hang a fuel pump in here, use these AN lines to connect to there. But 2 gallons doesn't get you very far, especially in this old girl. What we have is the factory carbureted fuel tanks over there now. They were feeding the factory fuel line right there. And then we've got this little, that's a fuel pump, and it just sends fuel all the way up to here. Then we have a little fill switch. So if this tank gets full enough, it turns the pump off. If it gets low enough, it turns the pump back on. Well, this is really ghetto, but I thought it was an ingenious situation for me to avoid spending $500, $600, $700 on 2 brand new fuel tanks. Yeah, and carriers and pumps and lines, which I made myself. Link in the description for my AN line making videos. Super easy, you can do it yourself, and it looks freaking Gucci. Come on now. Now we've got a radio, we've got windshield wipers, we've got an engine swap, we've got an automatic transmission, we've got new tires, the brakes are even gone through. Link in the description for my brake line video. But now we have to fix the air conditioning situation. Now, this truck didn't come with air conditioning, but nature has told me that we need air conditioning, and well, I'm not necessarily sure that I fully agree. We're gonna pop this bench seat out, and then we're gonna get to cutting, and then we're gonna make this guy go in there, and we're gonna weld it up. Now, welding is actually one of the smaller parts of this job. Just getting this piece of metal to fit in here, a lot more work, but we'll get it done. Martha's gonna be so freaking nice. Let's go.
Go ahead and remove your seat. With a bench seat like this, there's just a bolt at each corner and 2 in each rear corner. If you have bucket seats though, you might have a bolt in each corner of the bucket seat, and your application is going to vary just a little.
They can't touch that. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, listen sound. Everybody get down with the rhythm. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, listen sound.
What we need to do now is go ahead, get the trim pieces off, get any wiring out of the way, and then we can start cutting the floor. We want to cut the floor itself and then use the floor as a template on our new floor pan. That way we can get really close, test fit, and then just kind of in and out, in and out. We'll just chop it just a little bit back and forth until it fits nice. Then we'll be able to start tacking it. I've got these cool little like tools that I'll show you. They're really cheap on Amazon, and they make this really easy. But let's go ahead and start by getting that trim out, and then we'll get to cutting. Hey, and then before I start welding, you want to just remind me to disconnect the battery. Just don't want to, you know, fry any of these.
Now remove anything attached to the floor in the surrounding area. We don't want to damage anything while we're fixing things.
We need a little bit of hammering action on this guy here. she's probably pretty rusted in there. Oh yeah. Okay, so our trim piece here is actually in pretty good shape. So we're gonna be nice to this thing. Well, as good a shape as it can be. It looks like it's just rusted away, I guess. Or whatever. I don't know if this is aluminum or stainless. Probably stainless. Alright, so we got a speaker wire here. Can get rid of that. Alright. There's a penny under here. 73. Here's our actual trim. Oh, and it just like kind of tapes on here. Okay. Well, hey, that's pretty cool. We got some of the original paint under here. Wow, that's really pretty. Oh yeah, okay, wow. Whoop, all right, we ripped it just a little bit. All right, cool, so
you can see here on the floor kind of the basic shape of the rust and where it's at. We want to cut out everything that we can that is surface rust and deeper, but we also want to consider how we're going to weld it after the fact, how we're going to cut it, and if we have enough metal in our replacement pan to fill this in. One thing that will be really easy is if we just cut and weld all the way down here so you can't even see the seam because the seat will be in the way.
well, that's all right there. So cool enough, that floor pan actually just sits on top of this ledge right here, so I can just clean this ledge up, get all of this off of here. It is spot welded, so I got a corner of it so we kind of know like the line to cut on, so it can just sit over here. We just want a clean edge, and then we'll just, you know, drill a hole, weld it, seam seal it both sides, and then we can paint over it. The trim covers it pretty much, so not that big of a deal. We just need to get this like chunk of metal off. That's like this guy, it's spot welded there, 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 and then over here just doesn't even exist anymore. Then we'll clean up around here. Unfortunately, this spot just kind of doesn't exist right here, so we might have to do a patch piece here and then a patch piece here, and then I don't know what we're gonna do as far as the, I think this just goes down and then stops somewhere right here because it actually tapes on. You can see it actually stops right there, and gosh, what a pretty color, you know? Look at that, gorgeous. We've got this little T indent right here, and this should be out of like factory stamped metal, so we've got the same like stampings on it, allegedly. We're gonna cut that top part out. Oh, I'm trying not to get up by the gas pedal because the gas pedal is connected to linkage, so it's connected to there, so it's kind of a whole thing to take that out. If I can work around it, I'd like to. The metal up there is pretty good, so yeah. Lucky enough, we've actually got this guy right here that's still solid. We're gonna put some rust reformer and paint that before we put a floor over it, just for the sake of it, you know, being a little happier. This is a little worse than I thought. I wish the floor was just all destroyed, because that would be a lot easier than all these little tiny pieces, but you know, here we are. Oh boy, yeah, this is literally the seam sealer that keeps all these pieces together. Oh, what are you? Oh, probably a lottery ticket. How did that even get in there? It's like a half of an Easter egg maybe. Wow, I have no idea how that would have gotten there. Let's keep going. We got our floor cut, fit right, and then we're gonna start working on this, because I want to do this, like, I'm no restoration shop, but I do want to do this at some level of correct.
Now this is where it gets kind of interesting. Every situation is going to be a little bit different. In this situation, I used a wire wheel to clean all the rust off, and then here I am grinding down the edge pieces there, so I'll have a flat surface for my new floor to lay on.
we're working here. We got the floor cut out, and I want this to be in as big of chunks as possible so I can do this like very, very accurately, simply, and more importantly, less time. What we're doing over here is we take this this main big chunk and we're putting it on top of the floor right here, so it kind of fits up, right? You can see it kind of goes in there, and then we can take some spray paint. As long as this is pressed in, we can get an idea of where we need to cut out. You can't uncut stuff, so we'll just, if you need to, cut like a little bit out, and then we'll keep moving it down just a little bit until it fits just right.
Down with the rhythm, everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound, everybody get down with the rhythm, don't stop it, 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 don't stop. They can't touch that. Come on, everybody, don't stop, don't quit.
Oh yeah, okay. All right, so we're pretty close to where we need to be over here, but this whole piece is rotated that way because of over there, so we'll just cut that off and then try again.
They can't touch that. Come on, everybody, don't stop, don't quit. They can't touch that. Don't stop, don't stop.
We're basically using that yellow paint to find where this overlaps so we can make this fit just exactly perfect. Over here, super Gucci. Over here in this corner, we need just a little bit more. We're just trimming the truck here because, I mean, the paint is fine underneath, but new metal's always good. Let's get this part done.
You can see where the yellow spray paint has overlapped from the floor that I have cut out. I'm just cutting the truck's floor out. Anything that's blue, that way the new floor is going to fit in absolutely perfect. Look at this.
All right, so I've got this chunked out pretty good. I'm not trying to do a ton of stuff here. I just want this to be watertight and rust proof, and it's going to be covered up by stuff anyways. So what I'm going to do here, we want to go all the way from right here and over and up to here, and then we want that to come up and intercept this panel right here that the speaker wire is going through. Now this is a good example of something that's going to require a lot of finagling, but we'll basically have one flat piece here and then one flat piece here, and then we can see if we can try and construct something for the door trim seal to go on. I also squared that off pretty good, so it should be easy to just butt that up and make a flat piece right there so the weather stripping can still attach to it, right? Boom. So first off, we need to get our big metal piece here. Now this is going to cover up a lot of stuff, so once I start welding this stuff in, I am going to need to figure out how to fill this cavity up with something, spray paint, wax, or whatever. I think there's a thing called cavity wax for body parts, but yeah, easy way to do this is we're just going to get a piece of cardboard and then we'll cut it out of there. So we've got about 1 foot long, so we'll start with a 1 foot long piece that's kind of squared off, and then we'll find kind of our edges and just cut it down. So we got a cardboard box right here, pretty simple. Cut this guy that there. Then I'm just going to do a straight line. I am probably going to need to curve it. Alternatively, you could use a marker, but I didn't grab one of those. So all right, there we go. So we've got kind of our rough piece here. Now, does this guy need to maybe come up a little bit? Yeah, so let's actually cut it.
I think the girls with their nails done now.
Let's go make that piece of metal, and I'm not gonna bore you with it. So here's that piece of metal. All right, there you go. We got it. And oh, let's see how she fits, huh? So I had to make this out of a remainder of that floor pan, and you can see there's a little bit of a lip there at the bottom. I think it actually helps just a little bit, because down here a little bulged out, and this piece of metal actually sits on top of this one, so it actually kind of lays out pretty nice. And then we'll just hammer this corner down here and weld it. Not going to be pretty, but it's going to be pretty strong. 6:30. My wife will be here in about an hour, and well, I do need to clean up a little bit. Let's see.
Nails done. I think the girls with their nails done.
I think it's time to grab a welder. What? Oh, right. Yeah, unplug the battery. Hey, thank you. You're awesome. You know, this thing has a wire harness now and ECU and all that stuff, so there we go. Hey, you're a little bit responsible for the old girl now, I feel like. So thanks again for looking out. We've got the welder. My job right now is just to tack it. I'm not gonna wear any, I guess I can. I'm not gonna wear any like protective anything right now, just because you can just look away, safety squints. Find a good spot for this. Okay, cool. So we have a tack down there. Got to be a little careful just because we don't want to burn anything off. So we'll just find another spot that fits pretty good. And then we'll just tack that one. Is this the last test bit? Please, please. All right, and nice. Oh, oops. Oh, buddy.
I think the girls with their nails done now.
All right, so I've got these cool little gizmos. essentially you can loosen or tighten them and then clamp your sheet metal in a way that makes it perfectly even. So let me show you how that works. You guys are actually on the brand new floor. How's it feel? Please don't have any accidents. But if we just unscrew this like that, this guy goes in like that, and then we can clamp the sheet metal in between, just to make it kind of pretty. I am tempted to do it this way. That way, well, whatever, why not? Perfect, okay. So, okay. So we actually have a really big gap right there. Cool. So that should, I mean, in theory, that keeps it at a perfect gap, but I can see a little bit of gap right here, so I guess we'll just slap another one in there, huh? That's what they're for. Okay. Maybe this guy, we'll try it this direction, because that one was kind of a pain in the butt to screw down. There. Oof. Wow, that actually, let's loosen this one. Scoot it over just a little bit.
Nails done. I like the girls with the nails done.
So when you're welding across kind of a large gap like this, it works really well to run your wire up. I just went from 140 to 160, and we just want to bridge this gap right here.
Girls with the nails done. I like the girls with the nails done. Girls with the nails done. I like the girls with the nails done.
This is called a flap disc. Now this is the right tool for doing what I'm doing, and let me show you what I'm doing. These are welds, and they're pretty much boogers, but the thing is you can't actually hold a good weld across sheet metal, otherwise you'll warp it and it'll do this. No good. So what you got to do is stitch weld. You go tss, 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 and then you kind of overlap so you're not getting too much heat in that one spot. Then flap it down. There's a couple different grits of this. We've got 60, I've got a 40, or sorry, 60, 80, and then 120. So we get it as smooth as we can, and then we gotta hit it with Seam Sealer by Old Spice. Now, this seam sealer, it just fills in the gaps, covers up everything, and just makes it impervious to road damage. Basically, super thick undercoating. And yeah, that will mark the actual completion of this. And yeah, pretty exciting, pretty exciting. You got to do it on top here, and then on bottom. Then we'll let it dry, undercoat, and done. We'll just start putting together. Oh man, look at it go. Work. Oh!
We getting down with the sound of the old school vibe. Keep it alive, with my tribe survive. Everybody know we gon' do it like this. Come on, everybody, don't stop, don't quit. We getting down with
All right, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a floor, but we need to seal it. Now, every factory vehicle has panel gaps and things like that, especially in the floor where you're supposed to seal out from materials and things like water, mud, things like that. So what we need to do is seal this up the same way that it would have been sealed up from the factory. Now, my gaps are dramatically larger than the factory's, but it's going to be covered in seam sealers, so it doesn't really matter. And it'll be covered in some other stuff in the future. More on that later. Hit the subscribe button. You'll see. We've got a caulk gun, black one, nylon brush, a razor to open this, and then this seam sealer. This is what from the factory you would have used to seal gaps between different panels, right? You've got the floor panel, the side panel, the roof panel, all of those get welded together and then seam sealed. Now I am going to get a glove after this, and then I'll use my finger and kind of smash it down, but there we go. Oh yeah. That's the good stuff right there. Then any spots that had like a hole that's a little bit bigger or kind of a gap I had to cover, I'm just throwing a little bit more caulk at it. Or sorry, seam sealer. There we go. Oh yeah. Let me bring you guys over here. You can watch me. There we go. Oh. Let me tell you, this stuff smells awesome. No. No, it doesn't. Oh, gosh. I had a little cut that went up in there, so. Now right here, this goes under a little trim piece, so I'm going to be a little bit more spare with my usage here. I've got this nitrile glove, but I'm going to be really soft on this because I'm sure there's some edges in there. How sharp they are, I don't know. But yeah, thick glove, and oh yeah, that stuff is nice to work with. Wow. It's already curing, I think, huh? There we go. Also, we gotta get on this, huh? There we go. Honestly, that really like fills in the space and just rounds it out, makes it really easy. Stuff's good at what it does, I feel like. Anyways. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Martha's finally got a floor. My feet are on it right now, and my butt is on a seat that you guys haven't seen yet. So hit the subscribe button. You're gonna see about this next week. These are 1988 Crown Vic seats, and let me tell you, they are plush on my hit the subscribe button. I love you. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I love you. Thanks for watching. See you next week.